my little gavel. Hope I don't need it.
That means everybody's gonna be.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be well behaved, I'm sure. If Karen could take a roll call, please.
Mr. Bale,
Here.
Mr. Copeland,
Here.
Mr. Drexel,
Here.
Mr. Horton,
When he comes in, mark him present.
here, Mrs. Showerman, here, Mr. Scatella,
Here,
Mr. Winarski,
Over here.
Okay. Is there anybody here or online that had public comment? Anybody wish to have public comment? Seeing none, jump right into the agenda. Ordinance number 37, first public health fund budget supplemental appropriation of $4,000. First read was on 8/12. Pretty cut and dry, boring. Questions, concerns? All with that. Should I slow down for Andre?
I don't think he'll have any questions we can ask him when it gets back.
Okay. Number 3, ordinance number 38, 8/2025, general fund budget supplemental appropriation of $30,000. And the creation of a line item for new central booking fee. First read 8/12. Here to speak on that. Andre had some feelings about it. Let's have a little text.
Phone calls, didn't it?
Yes. Oh, I don't want to be rude and leave him out of the discussion.
you save that turkey.
Give him a Coke. What? Well, it's a short agenda, and we don't have personnel.
Yes, I have no idea.
Is he driving back from Tim Hortons? Just be a fact.
Yeah, I apologize. I walked over there, forgot all about you guys. Hey. Used to sidetrack. Not that you're not important.
We've gotten through the first 2 items when we're paused on the third one about the $30,000 for central booking fee. And just wanted to make sure we're including in the conversation in case you had something to add to that.
Made my comments.
Okay. Go to a second reading with that. Number 4, ordinance number 39, 9th, 2025, general fund budget supplemental appropriation of $366,000 for federal reimbursement of the county prison boiler replacement project. First read 8/12. That's good conversations about that. Anybody have anything to add to that?
Mr. Chair. Where is this money coming from? I know it's the federal government, but just exactly where in the budget is it coming
It's adding to an existing line item for federal reimbursement. It's the same line item that we got 625,000 or so year to date.
from? Is this the same money coming from the money that was suggested, the council appropriate to the prison for detaining the
It's the same line.
immigrants? It's the
Same
same
line.
money?
Same line item, but a new line.
Well, we didn't appropriate the previous one.
Yeah, so That was, if I recall, 460,000 that council said no to. So I wonder what happened to that 460. We know it wasn't sent back to the feds. Is there an account other than the general fund that money is sitting in? And is it appropriate or within the contract, the federal contract itself, to spend that money on boiler? I don't know the answer to that, and I wouldn't know unless I reviewed the federal contract. But council should be aware of that. I'm curious about that line item myself.
Paul, do you have any?
I don't know that answer, I don't have the contract with me. Sorry to read that contract, this, obviously, even 3 or 4 months ago when this first came up, so
Yeah.
I'll find the answer out.
Yeah, well, the other issue is with.
Where's the money? That's
From the
what it
budget.
is.
It's in the
Where's
bank, it's in the general fund bank account, just waiting to, we received it and it's there.
Yeah, but when was it received? How
Each
long
month
ago?
we get some money,
Pardon?
we get money each month,
Every month?
yes, correct,
And since.
for the
when?
last 25 years,
For the last 25 years?
yeah.
Okay, and so the money isn't earmarked for any particular purpose?
Not right at this moment, no. Well, it's in the general fund budgeted as that federal reimbursement line, but we got a lot more than we thought we were going to get.
Okay, well, was it always in the general, like,
Yes,
for
correct.
example?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't appear in the budget the council passed last year, right?
Yes,
It would.
yeah, there's a line item for that federal reimbursement money, but we just got a lot more this year due to there being more prisoners.
So I don't recall that line item. Are you familiar? with that?
I mean, the federal line item reimbursement, I have the appropriate, it's 001-004-110-051320. That's at least what I have in front of me. It's the same line item for the, that council voted back down in, May for the IC detainees money. So it's the same one that's appearing in both, of these appropriations.
All right, so when that potential payment for the detainee of immigrants was before council, that was just, I mean, you could have, well, now it's the boiler.
Yeah.
So any of this money, any of this federal reimbursement money could be spent on a variety of things, I suppose.
Correct.
I think I
And
have a copy.
I'll find that contract and we'll find out if it specifies it has to be used for a helicopter for the finance department.
Okay, I think I have a copy from the last time I looked at it as well. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, no.
I do. And maybe this is, I'm only been here a year and a half, right? But there is anticipated money in the budget, right? There's roughly 1.2, somewhere around there of revenue that we've anticipated. We've only taken in a little over $600,000 in that line item year to date, according to the reports, but till through the end of July in the reports that we get.
Yes,
And so like, until we've taken in more money than we expected, I don't understand how we're appropriating it as unanticipated revenue. Every dollar that we've gotten so far is anticipated.
I think we have, I mean, without me having that number in front of me.
Yeah.
I think we have taken in
I
more
think
money.
there's $800,000 or so
And we
budgeted
budgeted-
in that line.
yeah.
We're gonna get.
Well, when I looked at the end of July numbers, it was 625, somewhere around there that
Yeah.
we've taken in year to date. We haven't actually exceeded more revenue than what we expected.
Right.
So that's, I mean,
Oh,
my
yeah,
point is that, like, I don't understand appropriating unanticipated revenue when we haven't received anything unanticipated yet, right?
Yeah.
That's fine, but, okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
unless you're receiving these reimbursement monies on a monthly basis,
we are.
okay, so that would be revenue that you did anticipate, but was never part of the budget to begin.
Correct. There's a historical, I mean, there's a track record here. So unless the program stops tomorrow, we're getting the money.
If there's not any more questions, we'll continue to move on. Number 5 was, that's the table item from the last meeting, isn't it, Megan? Just- Okay, that's what I thought. I had not had an opportunity to reach out to this person. Paul, did you have any opportunity to reach out to this?
No,
Sarah
the
Metzger?
issue was that maybe we thought it was a daughter with a mother because they had the same email address.
Yeah,
That would be a George Joseph question, or Tom,
George Joseph.
are they allowed to do that? Could a daughter buy the mother's repository sale house, or, I mean,
Well, she can, unless she's buying it for her mother.
you know, how do you say, you know, one way or the other? Like, pony up a couple $100 and I gift it to my mother 2 weeks later. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know, you know.
Well, yeah.
Do you think that we can have them brought in for public comment at the next meeting?
The Met.
I know the city council does this for every meeting. They have a repository sales. People come and say, hey, this is what I want to do with it. I want to do a community garden or whatever. And I have seen them say no because they didn't like
Yes,
the future purposes of the project. So
I guess we could call the Metzgers and say, hey, council wants to talk to you.
all right, let's do that. We can bring them in for a comment on Tuesday. And leave it on the table as necessary. Is that good for everyone? Resolution approving the county council response to the 2026-2028 Terry County Operational and Capital Plan. Ms. Moore has put together a wonderfully worded synopsis of the notes that I had made prior. Anybody have any issues, questions, changes that they would like to have in response to the plan? I thought it was very, very well written.
The letter is very well written.
Yeah, I thought what she put to, no, Megan's response, I thought was a much better synopsis of what I've written down in my notes, and I'm appreciative that she put it together for us.
I mean, my only comments would be nice to have, capital projects listed out that would have more details in them. So that
Which is,
we could actually plan and include the budget, right? That's part of it.
which is.
She said put it in her check in October.
recommendation number one.
She said put it in
That
her
should
check.
be number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because you can't properly budget for something without.
Let's move on to RFP discussion related to RFP for the auditor. Terry, do you want to go over what we're thinking about doing here?
We're thinking about an ad hoc committee of Ellen, Rock, and myself with Patrick and Mark from Kyle's office to look at it. We're gonna do a Zoom
Yeah.
and then make a recommendation to council.
Each
Yes,
gonna-
council is okay.
Patrick, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So we'll each review the RFP and then we can get together and figure out what recommendation. Because you guys have to work with them too, right? And Mark, want to get everybody's input on the normal audit.
41 days.
Yeah. The last thing before we leave, 3 of us had been at CCAP for the last 4 days. Give an opportunity to share. Do you have anything that you wanted to impart to us in your?
Well, I have a bunch of stuff to take back to different places. I don't have my notebook with me. Probably list of everything in it. But I will say that as a whole, CCAP would like each county to pass a resolution regarding the impasse for the state budget. And asking, it will be sent to the governor and to the legislative bodies to ask them or tell them to get back to work and get the budget completed in a timely manner, because there's a lot of counties that are going to be in dire straits if they don't get the budget cuts. Ones that are gonna totally wipe out their general fund, have to take out loans and on and on. Because the budget isn't passed and we don't have the money for mandated services that are required that we have to have. And the last time this happened, none of the counties would be reimbursed. And it isn't telling them how to do it, it's just asking them to please get back to work and get it done.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was a big point that they were making is, telling them to do their job was the line that they kept repeating, but it was encouraging to see the whole body, right? So it's not a partisan issue, like both sides were, wanting to see this action taken, because we're gonna see the brunt of this big time, and it won't. The small counties, we're talking to all people that, some of these counties have 4,000 or 6,000, people in it. They're gonna feel this in a way immediately and already are, and they're already getting reports of different businesses that are announcing, they're gonna have layoffs. We've seen some cuts here with nurses and stuff already, so. I'm totally behind that. I appreciate this. That was gonna be, what I was thinking, because I do myself have a bag full of notes and contacts.
Charlie, did you have anything? Did you get a chance to log on to the business meeting?
I tried through that to vote and stuff, and it was a fiasco. Like I sent an email, I couldn't even get on, but through that, I used the link, they had the code and stuff, and I don't know. Answered back and said it wasn't there.
You
It
know,
was an issue with them.
Joe or Spiros were able to get online and vote for the CCAP? You don't know if they attended the general business meeting?
No,
We don't know if they voted or
no, no.
not. Monday night, I was a little confused because I hadn't had my voting access code sent to me. And I reached out to leadership to try to figure out why I hadn't gotten my code to go in and vote. And I found out that the county executive had submitted a slate of 5 voters for Erie County. And that Drexel and I that were actually physically at CCAP there to participate. I'm on 2 different committees now. We weren't allowed to vote. Did you know that you'd been selected as a
Yeah,
voter
I
for Erie
got
County?
I got the email and stuff, yeah.
And so you knew that the county executive, without giving any sort of consideration to the rest of council, to the chair, or to anyone else, that you were selected as a voter for Erie County?
I didn't know how it was determined, but I knew that I was a voter, yeah.
I got all the email and everything. The only thing that I didn't get was the credentials. I mean, CCAP didn't realize that we weren't allowed to vote until the very last minute.
Ellen, is that why you were surprised to see me there?
Mhm.
The Sunday, I saw you and you were like, oh, I didn't even realize you and Chris were coming.
Well, I didn't know you were coming, but I'm the only one that usually goes. That's why I was surprised to see somebody else.
I've been there twice.
I'm pretty irritated. It's a space that I care to give to and to be involved in and to represent. And I understand not everybody feels the same way about CCAP or not necessarily want to go. But I'm profoundly irritated that the county executive took it upon himself to select for us which of us would be representatives to CCAP.
Should never
It's
It's actually,
they're
the chair should be saying who is our voting members, actually.
And-
The county executive should not be picking our voting members.
and in fact,
It should be the chair.
Bill Spiros and Joe Sinnott, appointed officials, are given a vote before elected officials. And Joe wasn't even qualified because actually in CCAP, it's 3 commissioners,
There you go.
the solicitor and the clerk that get votes.
There you go.
And in home rule counties, is supposed to be our approximation of the clerk, and we have a clerk. I like, and it's really interesting, because in all these other commissions, because it is a decidedly Republican organization because of the makeup of, but in each of those, Republican counties, there's always one Democratic commissioner that gets to go. And so, yeah, sometimes it's 2-1, but there is always equal representation from both sides, because that's the way it should work. And instead, we had 5 Republican electors sent from Erie County. And nobody wanted to say anything to any of us.
I didn't know the makeup of the
Neither did
voting, I
I.
just knew I was a voter.
I didn't know that you were able to vote.
Yep. Yeah, I worked on helping pass resolutions out of a committee, and then I showed up to the vote and I couldn't vote.
I think someone should take a letter and let them know that the chair.
I will be
We are-
putting together an ordinance to codify how we select this process, and I'll be submitting it on our next agenda.
We already addressed CCAP.
I think it's already codified in the way, it just needs to be enforced.
Yes, we've done that.
I just-
The research.
I'm beyond pissed off that I took a lot of time away from my family to be involved, to represent Erie County, and to just find that I have been secretly just disenfranchised. Like, I know you're not Brett, but
Yeah,
you take that message back, because I'm pissed.
Well, I have been a CCAP for 2.5, almost 3 years.
This is
But I
actually me
usually
being very restrained.
I have no desire.
I mean-
It's just more important for me to work in my district than go listen to the policy speak that I hear coming out of the mostly Republican path. So that's just for me. It's, you have to associate, and we should associate my district, and probably not indigenous only to mine, but we have enough issues in my district. I feel guilty.
Point taken.
Every day, I'm addressing something in my district.
I give you that. I definitely made a lot of contacts and did a lot of good work while I was there. And regardless of whether my vote gets blocked next year, next CCAP meeting, I'll be there and I'll be in committee and I'll be doing work to improve my county and the rest of the county. So
Well, I'm glad to see that you recognize the value of going. I-
100%,
I
and
haven't
even
missed
more
one
than the
since
vote,
I
like
went
the
into
vote,
office.
right? The vote was so lopsided, it wasn't like our 2 votes would have changed the room, most of them were 100 to 20 or something like that. But at the same time, like the real work is done in the committees and in the relationships and the stuff that, you know, we all have problems and it's a space to go and share, make things better. So that didn't get burned down in the situation, but, you know.
Here's the disrespect shown to council, to the chair. To completely isolate us, and we're not gonna be any part of the decision-making structure in that. I'm just fine if, you know, Brenton wanted to designate one person to go, he had a couple, but like, to just not even have a conversation about it, you know, last year we showed up and we voted, because you and him were the only 2 that ever went. And it's funny how
The year
after Chris and
before,
I went,
voted.
and we
Because I was-
voted, and it wasn't until, oh boy, they're voting, they're part of this, that's when we're gonna put in people, because they weren't there before. I actually think it was just to ice us out.
41 days.
Mr. Chair, went back to 1988 when I first started being solicitor. Multiple members of council, Democrat and Republican, used to go to that organization, especially, I think Joe Giles it was Mr. NACO and nationally, so it's always been a Democrat and Republican thing. But more importantly, you know, there's only 6 or 7 home rule charters. And the CPAC, or that organization, forgets that all the time. So too do all of the other counties forget that. And they leave out the fact that the governing body in home rule charter counties is county council. So what the administration made a mistake of is thinking that he's the only one involved in county government. That's not the first time he's made that. It's the 100th time he's made that. But he should have addressed that immediately if he knew the history and if he knew or read, the literature regarding that organization. I'm sure that organization doesn't tell you who comes, but they definitely want the governing body. And so
It
just
actually
sending
does tell you
administrative
it
people
comes.
is not sending the governing body of Erie County. I don't know how you want to fix that. It can be fixed pretty easily.
Yeah, and,
I did, but what's interesting is the organization did not recognize you. So a letter should be going to that organization to straighten them out and explain to them. Was Allegheny County there?
Yes.
I mean, they're a home rule charter county. I don't know who showed up there, but I assume that council members showed up there. But I think that all they have to do is be directed to remind them that, hey, look at the governing body, it's council and the administration.
They have been corrected, and they're
yeah,
gonna be looking at that. Before, they had only sent a letter to the executive.
yeah.
Now they'll be sending a letter to the executive and the clerk.
They also, the other home rule counties, this has come up, right, in the last year or two in other home rule counties. In each one of those instances, the bodies, the council just pass a resolution or
Yeah,
whatever, and an ordinance, and they set what the parameters are, so.
yeah, see, what happens is that people change. Council's been going down there for 60 years, 45 years. And so why would they suddenly say no council? Or forget about
I
council?
think that's what was happening, was all of a sudden it was happening, they had some real sticky issues in those counties, and CCAP representation was telling us that, these counties fixed it by ordinance. So-
What happened in this case is the extraordinary circumstances that one man had the gall to dare delegate to a co-equal body of government who their delegates are. That's what happened here.
Mhm.
And we're gonna fix it by ordinance at the next meeting.
Well, if that's how that happened, the other way it could have happened is for CCAP to do it on its own. Because there's a new person involved and they didn't recognize that Erie County was a home rule county. I'm not sure, but that's another way it could happen.
Joe was Grand Poobah the year before I unseated him.
Adventure, yeah.
Fiore he was over all of CCAP. And he had a big position in NACO. When Fiore took me to CCAP and introduced me, they kind of gave me their ass to kiss. It's part of my French.
What?
He said, they was like, hey, we heard Joe Laws. He was like, where's the good guy? Of course, the only other black in there other than the vendors was me and a guy named Clarence from Philadelphia. He was whiter than every white guy there. It's Terrence or whatever the hell his name was. They says, hey, there's another one you hear is Terrence. They left me and Terrence standing in the big hall.
Well, one thing that happened at CCAP that, I want to make sure that we do recognize, because not everybody was there. Mr. DiMatteo received the affiliate award for his work in human services.
It's a very proud moment.
Yeah, that was a problem for Erie County, and I was very happy to see that. So,
John's good. John's
Thank you for
solid.
bringing that up. You're right. That was actually a wonderful. I saw him walk down the hallway. My brain kind of glitched because see somebody out of the context of what you normally see them and you're like, who is that? Like, oh, hey, it's John.
Did he have your vote? No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I hate to interrupt, but there is just one thing I do want to just discuss about the results of the CCAP. And correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding was that CCAP did make it clear that with the delays in state and federal funding, could cause issues for counties.
That's
This
already
is why I want to revisit what I recommended about a month ago and possibly amending resolution 26/2015 to adjust that floor of our minimum withholding above the 2 month to maybe 3 or 4. I think now is the time to probably really consider that, given that it's been brought up by CCAP as well. I just want to put that on everyone's mind, we can discuss it at a later date, but I just wanted to just revisit that now, as I think it's pertinent.
I thought it was a great idea that you brought forward then, I still believe it. And I didn't need CCAP to tell me that, all I have to do is watch what the federal government is doing. And every county will be impacted by the state impasse, thank you, Alan, because every county is passed through dollars. And we're gonna be impacted in a large way. I think we have a budget coming in 41 days. Not gonna even open up that conversation yet. There'll be time enough to deal with it, but I think just if history tells us anything, you should err on the side of caution.
There's something else, go ahead and adjourn.
So who that person?
Doc,
Jim?
you talked to Joe and sent him an email about this?